welcome to Set Up and Score. My name is Leigh. I'm the Head of Customer Success at ScoreApp. Thank you for joining us today. In this session, we are going to talk about creating a scorecard. So from the very beginning, which is coming up with the concept, then we're going to demonstrate how to build it on the platform, all the various elements of it. And then we'll finish talking about launching the scorecard and follow-up processes as well. So I know some of you are going to be in different stages of that process. So it would be great if you wouldn't mind just dropping in the chat a quick hello so we can say hi to you, and then just letting us know where you are in the process. So it may be that you've not started, it may be that you've built your first one or you've launched. But yeah, that gives us a nice idea of where everybody is. Hi, Praveen. So you've not started. Hi, Deborah. You're at the very beginning. Brilliant. Hi, Dave. You've just been tinkering, so that's good. Had a little look around. Hi, Nathan. You're about to launch the first one. Fantastic. Hi, Larissa. Not started. Hi, Naomi. So you've started, but you want to sort of have a look at maybe some optimizations, which is good. Hi, Andres. You're in the process of building it. Fantastic. Hi, Mark. You've just put in the integration via Zapier and looking at the web page. Brilliant. Okay. Hi in Tuscan. Hi, that's very far away. Nice to have you here. So you have built one, but you're revising your landing page. Brilliant. Okay. Hi, Nicola. You've created a draft one. Hi, Emma. You're playing with your first one. Hi, Blandine. Created the scorecard, but not launched yet. Brilliant. Hi, Jean. North Carolina. That's fantastic. Just signed up yesterday. Hi, Patrick. Your first time. In progress, wanted to perfect. Brilliant. Hi, Emma. Oh, but I'm not Emma, I'm Gareth. We've had a look at it, tried to create one, but got stuck. Okay, well, hopefully this will help. Hi, Beverly. You've set up and launched your first one, but you haven't had engagement so far. So hopefully we can give you some ideas. And hi, Amy, you have a draft. And it's 6 o'clock where you are. Wow, I hope you've got a coffee with you so that you're got the fuel you need to get through it. Okay, so thank you for saying hello. So we've got people in different positions. Hopefully we're all going to get something from it. I'm going to start by just sharing my screen, and I've got some introduction as to use cases for scorecards. So coming up to the top here, a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is using scorecards to generate leads. However, scorecards can be used for qualifying leads and also benchmarking customers as well. So people create onboarding scorecards. People will use scorecards to measure customer satisfaction. So it's just a good idea to mention those elements in the beginning, because it might spark some different use cases that you could use scorecards as a toolkit within your organization. We are going to look at, when we build a scorecard, we're going to specifically look at building a high converting landing page. Then we're going to talk about the actual questions and how the scoring works and creating those thought-provoking questions, and then delivering the results. So giving them some feedback, showing them their scores, showing them the outcomes, and then we'll talk about promoting and following up the scorecard as well. So before we dive into the platform, I want to talk about the main elements that create a successful scorecard. And the first one on the list is getting the concept right for the scorecard. So that's the whole idea that the scorecard is based upon. And my recommendation is to align it with that common goal that your target audience want to achieve. So if, for example, I was a career coach, and I helped my target audience to advance their career, I could create this career advancement scorecard. And therefore, it gives them clarity about how they're performing against that goal, and it gives them some direction to continue them on that journey towards fully reaching it. That leads into point 2, because it makes it mutually valuable. You're producing content that is of value for your target audience, and in exchange you're collecting lots of data about that lead that you can continue to convert into a sale. When you can also then, once you've collected that data, you can personalize the way that you communicate with that potential customer. You're going to know a lot more about them. You're going to know their scores. So you can put them into really relevant funnels, for example, and then give them that tailored feedback and approach. Obviously, all those three elements are about the scorecard themselves, but once you've created scorecard, it will depend on that strategy to drive traffic towards it. So you've got to go tell people about it. You've got to get that traffic to go through it. And then once they have taken the scorecard, you want to then start to think about converting those leads that you've generated into sales. So we're going to start on the concept for the scorecard. Now, that is obviously the idea, and then that needs to be transferred into a headline that's a real hook that captures your target audience attentions. It clears what it is, who it's for, how it's going to help them. So the next few slides are going to be ideas for helping with that concept and that headline. And the first one is going back to that desire or goal. So we talked about, the career advancement scorecard. It could be that if I was a fitness coach, I create the, Fit for Life scorecard. And it could just be that it's that desire or goal with the term scorecard on the end. We use the term scorecard within ScoreApp, but there are other terms: quiz, assessment, blueprint. These are all commonly used terms, and it really depends on which one you feel is going to resonate most appropriately with your target audience. So you've got some other examples that you can see. Obviously, the key person of influence scorecard, where the desire is to be a key person of influence, high performing teams, the beach ready scorecard, the good parenting scorecard. The second method is to flip that and focus on the pain or the frustration. So the one that you can see on the screen, the avoid being hacked scorecard, if you think about the desire or the goal there, it's to have that safe, secure network, but just putting it into that headline really helps to create that hook. Going to skip to that last one there, that avoid burnout scorecard. Again, it's just got that hook to capture your target audience's attention. The third method is to ask a question, are you ready to? And you can fill in the blanks with your examples, and it works with a wide variety of examples. So, career coach example, are you ready for your next career move? It creates that intrigue. Are you ready to get fit and healthy? Are you ready to run a marathon? So that could be good when it comes to brainstorming ideas. The fourth concept is that it may be driven by something topical or seasonal. So there may be something trending, something newsworthy, and that really does help drive your concept or your headline. And finally, we do have the ability to create highest scoring category or personality style quizzes. So you don't have to give somebody a score at the end. You could give them an outcome. So are you an introvert or an extrovert? We have a template on the platform called Discover Your Budgeting Personality Style. So there's different ranges, but you could be a really relaxed budgeter, or you could be a really conscious budgeter. And that allows you to give advice relevant to that personality style, because obviously they will be vastly different in terms of their needs. So with having gone through those concepts, it's going to be much easier for those of you that have already started to build. But I just wondered if you could share your ideas for your concept in the chat. It really does help to continue sparking ideas as a group as well. If you're not quite sure of your concept yet, just a little, thought process about what it is, what you do, and we can perhaps help you. So hi, Howard. Hi, Howard. Yes. Are you ready to sell more easily online? Yeah. So it's got that, like, are you ready? So we just need to make sure in the subheading, it's clear who it is, what it's for, because that's important as well. So hi, Emma, are you ready to scale? So are you ready to scale your business? I like that one. Discover if your business is ready to scale. Discover if your business is ready for a successful exit. So that's a good concept. Thank you for sharing. Jean, business financial scorecard for real estate agents. So the business, so it could be discover your financial health score, but then we'd obviously need to, in the subheading, is your real estate business ready for growth. It could be so that we can get that target audience in there as well. Discover your financial health score. The concept is to get parents to assess if they feel comfortable with coaching their teens through career choices. So really great concept. So, you know, the teens career success scorecard for parents. So I really like that one. Thank you. Hi, Helen. How full is your life? I'm a life design coach. Yeah. How full is your life? Discover your score. Take the assessment. Yep, I like that one. Hi, Larissa. Are you ready for retirement? Yep. Are you ready for a successful retirement? Are you on track for retiring? Financial freedom. How close are you to financial freedom? Take the retirement readiness scorecard. Elizabeth, how healthy is your brand communication strategy for founders and owners of small lifestyle business? So how healthy is your brand communication strategy? So it's a really good concept. We need to create that hook where it's based on that goal. So we have to think about that goal in that case. So brand communication strategy, the ultimate goal, you know, is to grow their business, become reputable. So I think linking it to more of those goals to create that hook is going to be good in terms of developing a headline. So a renovation service business and would like to implement the scorecard as part of a client qualifying process. Okay, so it's brilliant. So that is, you know, it may be that you have multiple scorecards. You have a lead generation scorecard and you have an onboarding scorecard. And sometimes we have customers that use that in that way. So once they've already had that initial conversation with someone, they're like, actually, could you go and take this scorecard now? And that will form our discussion then to take you forward. Mustafa, oh no, I've done that one. Thank you. Colin, eliminate staff retention issues forever. So that is going to be the concept. I think the headline is going to be based on that ultimate goal, which is to attract top talent potentially and keep and retain top talent. So we could focus on that as to help with the headline options. Amy cracking the code, caregiver navigating through the medical system. So that could be, I'm sure there's lots of regulations there, and maybe that one is more of a, you know, the checklist. It could be like a checklist, like, is your care business set up for success, or is I'm trying to think of the right word to use. Is it compliant, basically? You could go along something like those lines with that. Hi, Donna. Are you frustrated by not getting enough leads? So you're going for that pain point, you know, and so that could create that hook. Are you frustrated by not getting you know, and you could call it, take the lead generation success assessment, for example. Hi, Sean. Unearth your pathway to raving fans, marketing assessment for independent artists. Okay, so so is that maybe related to growing your business through referrals? So that, you know, that could be the ultimate goal. So are you ready to grow your business through raving fans? Discover your customer success score, for example. Beverly, my audience is charities in the context of being lawfully compliant with GDPR. I ask them how compliant they are. Yeah, so that's great. You know, it's really valuable to your target audience. They're going to discover something at the end. So I like that one. Discover your accountability personality style. So discover your okay, so how accountable are you? Discover your accountability score and increase the probability. We've got a scorecard that actually says that, and increasing the probability of getting stuff done. Nathan Edwards. So you're about to launch a new healthcare event. Aim is to launch a waiting list. Okay, fantastic. We've got waiting list templates on the platform where you can just customize it, input your branding. So I'd recommend thinking about an eligibility score for the event, but not 100%. Hook is the only way you can get access tickets by filling out the scorecard. Really good idea. You know, just by creating a wait list, it could be for that product or service. You're just assessing that level of interest, and you've got that, you're building that database once you are ready to go or launch. Amy, that's cracking the code, a caregiver's journey through the medical system. Cracking the code, a caregiver's journey through the medical system. I like it. I think we need it. It needs to be, you need to be clear what it is they're getting from it. So sometimes when we talk about, you discover your score, we want to know what we're discovering with that. Online sales skills for entrepreneurs, improved version. Yeah, so online sales skills. So the entrepreneurial sales skills success score, still probably not there, but it's starting to create that intrigue. The popular networker scorecard. What is your networking style? Is it working for you? Yeah, I really like that one. Are you taking advantage of video marketing your business for growing? So that one, we need to think about that common goal, because I think it might be, someone's likely to take and engage when it's something that they're wanting to achieve. So with that one, I would use ChatGPT, and I would type in what you do, your target audience, ask it to suggest concepts, headlines for your quiz. It's a fantastic tool for generating lots of different ideas. So I think that would be the best way forward. Have you saved enough for retirement? Yep, I like that one. Are you letting your past get in the way of the future? So your well-being coaching. So that one could be, are you letting your past get in the way of your future? So that one could be, and it's a well-being coaching. So you could go like discover your well-being score, and that could be your subheading. Are you letting your past get in the way of the future? I think that combination would work quite strongly. Okay, brilliant. I'm not going to spend any more time going through them because there's lots and there's so many different ideas, but I think that's really fantastic and there's really good ideas and we're all on the right track with those. So thank you very much. So once you've got your concept or an idea of your concept, we're going to dive into the platform now, and you're going to click on Create Scorecard. You're going to be presented with one of these three main options. Now, I start from scratch if I've got a good idea of what my concept is, I know my questions, and I want to build my own results output as well. Picking a template is where you're going to find the wait list. We've got a library of templates. I'd advise you to have a look through it. If there's something that's closely aligned with what you want to create, then it can be a great time-efficient way of creating your first scorecard. Whichever template you use, you can add your own branding, colors, fonts, tailor the content, tailor all aspects of it. And then the third method is using the AI setup wizard. This option's great if you just need that extra bit of support in your concept. It's going to suggest questions and it's going to write the results output as well. So it's going to get you a good proportion of the way through the process. So I'm going to demo that today, but whichever method you pick, everything that I go through is relevant to all three of those methods. So we're going to click on Get Started. We get to choose what the primary goal of the scorecard is. So we're going to focus on generating new leads. And then we can decide whether we want to deliver one overall score at the end, whether we want to deliver that outcome that we spoke about, so that introvert, extrovert, for example, or multiple scores. So that will give an overall score, and you're going to be able to add some categories and give a score against categories as well. That's particularly useful if you've got a methodology, for example, so the 5 Ps, or you want to show people where their strengths and weaknesses are. So if you're a fitness coach, you've got some obvious categories that would be exercise, sleep, nutrition, and they can see where their strengths and weaknesses are. So I'm going to select multiple scores. I'm going to say that I am a fitness coach. And go to next, and then it asks me to describe my target audience. I'm going to say busy professionals. You can click on get more suggestions and you can enter your own if the suggestion isn't tailored for your business. And then it asks me what I help my clients improve, achieve, or prevent. So I'm just going to increase health and fitness. And then once you've entered those prompts, it's going to suggest concepts for your business. So we're going to pick the strongest option here. You can amend it once it's created the scorecard. So the busy, I'm going to click on the fitness fast track quiz. Okay, so I'm going to select that one and then click on next. And then it's going to suggest the categories because I selected that multiple scores option. Typically, if you've got a methodology, then that's going to form how many categories you've selected. If you're generating a scorecard for cold leads, then, I'd recommend around 2 to 4 categories. And then you split your questions between them. So I'm going to just pick the top 2 here, just so that we can whiz through this process. Once you've selected your categories, it's going to suggest questions, that's going to sit underneath each category. So approximately, if it's cold leads that you're targeting, our guideline is around 12 questions. That does need to be balanced with giving someone a credible score. And in terms of what you're doing during this setup process, I would suggest that you pick your strongest questions. They don't have to be your final questions because you can delete, add, tailor once the scorecard's built, but the AI setup wizard will sort of write the results output based on these questions. So you want to get them close, but they don't have to be exact. So I'm just going to pick 2 for each category. For this purpose, it will give us a nice summary of all our selections, and then we can click on create my scorecard, and it just takes a few moments, and then we can go to the dashboard, and we've got our first scorecard within our account. So along the blue toolbar on the left-hand side, we're going to be focusing on the build element initially. And if I click this little square box with the arrow pointing up, it's going to launch what the AI has generated for us. So it's inputted the headline that we selected during the process. It's chosen the most suitable image, which is a ladybird on which I'm not sure about that one. And then it's put in a blue background. So this is really just a starting point, and I'm going to show you how you can develop your landing page. So on our website, scoreapp.com, if you go to product and made with ScoreApp, we've got this library of existing successful scorecards. And this really demonstrates, from that version that the AI has created to get us started, like what your landing page can look like. And I'm going to use this particular example, the scale up and business assessment, to talk through some elements that I really like about it that you could potentially use in your own scorecard. So this one is called the Scale Up and Exit Business Assessment. I like the headline. I think it's got that, are you looking to grow, exit, or sell your business? So I think it's clear who it's for and what it does. Then in the subheading, we're using content that is your business ready to scale rapidly and achieve a successful exit. So even though it's based on that goal, which is to grow and sell their business, we want to start tapping into those ultimate prizes of doing that, which is obviously to scale it really quickly and sell it for lots of money. So starting to use content that taps into those ultimate prizes can be really beneficial on the landing page. We also mentioned how long it takes. So in just 4 minutes, and then what you're going to receive at the end. So you're going to receive an instant PDF containing valuable advice tailored to your situation. The next section is using logos of the brands that this company is trusted by. What this starts to do is build credibility. So if someone goes, oh, this sounds really interesting, I wonder who's developed it, just having sections like this can really help to answer that question. And it doesn't have to be logos. It could be an about us section, a why we've created this tool section that starts to build that credibility. Then you've got a showcase of what you're going to receive at the end. So it starts to bring it to life. Okay, I'm going to, take this assessment. I'm going to get this PDF report and the opportunity to book in a 60-minute strategy session. So you could showcase the value in the results page. It could be the PDF. It could be a bonus that you're communicating that they'll receive at the end. It could be a snapshot of the donut chart showing their results. So lots of opportunities for bringing that to life. You've then got a section about how the assessment works, talking about, again, the number of questions, introducing their experience, and tapping more into those common ultimate prizes that I mentioned. So that is to scale rapidly, increase the cash flow, the profit, the valuation, and successfully exit. We've got the categories, we've got more information about them, and you can see the design of it is really like eye-catching, and it's all about the value in taking the scorecard. So it's not sales focused, it's aligned with our goals, and that's what makes this a great example. Another example I just wanted to show you quickly is one at the top here, which is the natural law, which is an Ayurveda, I think that's how you say it, where you're going to discover your unique dosha composition. So it's got that intrigue, you're going to discover something, you're going to take our free quiz to reveal and get a personalized report on your best natural food and lifestyle choices for healing, reversing ages, and preventing illness. So again, tapping into those ultimate desires. More information about the importance of it, what it is, but then you've got this nice visual element of how it works. So step 1, you're going to take the quiz. Step 2, you're going to get your custom report. Step 3, you can step into your path of natural wellness. Here you can see a showcase of what they're going to get at the end. So they're going to discover their unique dosha composition, and then get personalized recommendations. So that was just another element that I wanted to show you. Now we need to go back to the platform and learn how to create a template like this. So the AI, if we click on landing pages, we can open up the landing page editor. I'm just actually going to go back one step before I do that today, and that is to go to settings. And when you click on settings under the builder, there's lots of expanded options. One of them is branding. So the very first thing you could do is to add your logo here, an icon if you have one. Select your fonts and your colors, and then that will be pulled across into all these elements that we're going to create. So that could be worth doing up front. You can override them at every point as well, but it might save you some time. The other thing to look at whilst we're here is the link that you're going to drive traffic to your landing page. And when you set up a scorecard, it will be your account name and then a jumble of letters and numbers. So once you're on the starter package, you can tailor this aspect of it. So it could be linked to your company name or the concept for the scorecard. And it will have .scoreapp.com on the end. And if you're on the business package upwards, you've also got the option of using a custom domain name. And if you wish to do that, you can connect that up by visiting your account and selecting domains. Okay, now let's go back to the landing page. If you've picked a template or you've started from scratch, you're going to be able to amend the template landing page. If you started from scratch, you'll be able to click up here and the blue button on the top right that says create landing page, and that will give you some different landing page templates that you can start with as well. So I'm going to open up the editor. I'm going to refresh. Okay, so now we can see we're inside the AI version. To the left, if we click on add a section, you can, we've got loads of different section types that you can add. Under main banners, for example, it may be that, you don't want this particular format where you've got the image on the right and the headline on the left. So you could change that banner style just simply by adding a new one. So I quite like this one. It allows you to add a hero image. And then if you hover over that particular section that you've just added, you'll notice some dots, and you can click on that, and that allows you to drag and drop them into different positions. So that will now become my main banner. And if I wanted to remove that one, I can click on it and I can delete, or that eye icon will hide that particular section. You'll notice that there's a header section already there. It is hidden, so I'm just going to click to release that, and that will allow me to upload my logo. So to the right, I can then go and select my logo file. And each section type has a style option. So if I click on there, there's some expanded options, which will be different based on every section type. But for this particular one, I can choose where to position my logo. I can make it bigger. I can feature it inside that first section if I wanted to. So I would advise you to go through all of those styling options and select all your colors and styling. So other section types that you might want to add. So we have got various different call to actions. And on the landing page, the call to action is always going to be, let's get started, go through to the questions. You have got testimonial sections. Best practice for using testimonials on the landing page is to link it to how that the scorecard has helped your target audience. So it could be, I took this scorecard and it was the starting point to my transformation, for example. Now, under the category sections, these sections are great for introducing the categories, should you wish to, but they're also great for that instruction section that I showed you earlier. So it would be that middle section there that you can use to create those steps. You've got videos. So we most commonly see videos being used on perhaps later on in the results page, but it is an option should you want to do an intro video. And under content is where you'll find other sections that you can use to introduce who you are, to explain how it works. You'll find those logo sections that was in that first example that I showed you. So it really is a case of adding these sections, moving them around to create your structure, and then going through and styling each of the sections with your own imagery and colors and fonts. So that is your landing page tutorial. Does anybody have a landing page that they'd be happy to share with us, so we can just have a look at a work in progress example? If you've got the link to your scorecard, if you're happy to just pop it into the chat box, I'll be able to bring that up. And we'll just do one example today so that we can sort of stick to time. I'm just going to give you a few moments, Mark. You're happy to, that's brilliant. It's just waiting. Thank you, Mark. That's fantastic. So I'm going to click on that link. Okay. So how cyber safe is your business? So I like that headline. I think it's got that intrigue. Almost half of cyber attacks are targeted against small businesses. And I think, Mark, you've picked up one of the templates from the library, which is fantastic, and you've added your logo here. So we're introducing the number of questions. By answering just 12 questions about your business security, you can gain better understanding of just how equipped you are to prevent a cyber attack or data breach. And in there, if you wanted to add some more copy to optimize it, it could be to tap into those ultimate desires, reputation, for example, and just start to introduce some of those. We then know it's going to take 2 minutes, it's free, and we're going to receive those customized results instantly. So this particular banner has the sign up form on the banner itself. So you've got the option of doing that. I think sometimes, and it always comes down to testing it, it can be better to have that as a pop-up so they get to read and the information first, then click on start, and then enter their details. So it's just something to be mindful, and it's an option. So you'll be scored on the following key areas: data breach, data theft, GDPR. So that's just introducing more about the categories, and this could become a how it works section. Or you could add that section as well. So you know the questions, you're going to see that you're going to get your score, and then start to showcase what they're going to get at the end. If you can screenshot any of those results, like in those examples that we showed you, that can help strengthen it as well. We've then got the credibility piece. So we've got information about who you are, which is great. And then we've got a testimonial, and it's linked to the scorecard. So that's lovely. And then you've got that final call to action: protect your business, your staff, and your clients. Get my security score. So I like that. I like that content. And it looks like you haven't yet popped in those logos. So you've obviously got the option to change those two logos or just hide that particular section. So this is a really good starting point, and hopefully those points that I've mentioned can help you to sort of optimize this particular landing page. But the design of it looks really nice, and it's really eye-catching as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, So once you've created the landing page, the next element that we're going to work on is the questions. So because we use the AI setup wizard, we've got those 2 categories that we selected. We can see our questions. And if we click on the 3 lines and the 3 dots, that just shows you which questions are sitting under which categories. We have the opportunity to add categories. So if you're starting from scratch or you want to add more, you simply click on that and you would give it a name. So let's add our sleep category. You can add a description icon. It can become useful later on in the results page if you're going to use it as a merge field, but it's not necessary at this stage. So it might be something you come back to do later. And then we can go in and we can add some further questions if we want to. If we click on add a question, we can see all the different question formats. So I'm going to talk about the best way to score these particular questions. So on a yes, no, maybe question, it's the positive answer that scores a point. And the simplest way is just to award 1 point to the positive answer. So it could be, do you sleep more than 8 hours a night? I bet all of us wish that we did, but probably we don't. So the positive answer is obviously the yes. So if I now go to the right of my screen, I can select answers here. I can switch on the scoring. I can choose which category that belongs to. So it's going to sit under my sleep category. The yes is going to score the point. And I need to do the same for the no. So switch on the scoring, make sure it sits in my sleep category, and it's not going to score any points. You'll also notice that you've got the option to apply jump logic if you want to. So based on how they answered a question, they might skip the next question. I'm not going to delve too much into that. I just wanted to let you know that it is an option. Okay, next question format. You've got 3 different versions of multiple choice. I really like multiple choice buttons. You can just click on the answer, go straight to the next question. Multiple choice checkboxes is great if you want them to pick more than one answer from the list. And multiple choice radio buttons is when you put a tick in the box and your answer sits to the right. And that can be useful if you've got really long answer options, for example. It doesn't sit nicely inside the button. So I'm going to show multiple choice buttons, and here the scoring can just go up in terms of strength of the answer. So if I'm saying, how many times a week do you exercise? And if that person selects, my answer option is going to be 0, 1 to 3, and then I'm going to have one more that's 3 plus. So when I click on scoring, I'm going to make sure that they sit under exercise habits. 0 isn't going to score any points. My next answer, 1 to 3, is going to score 1 point. And my top answer is 3 plus. So that's going to score the top of 2 points. And then I'm going to save that question. In terms of the easiest question format for people to flow through an answer, it would be the yes, no question, as long as you keep it factual and so they don't have to go away and check anything. But it is quite nice to introduce a mix of different question formats. It keeps people on their toes. And also, yes doesn't always need to be the positive answer. You can switch it so that knows the positive answer in some cases as well. Okay, looking at the other question formats we've got different varieties of a scale. Now the scale you can make however big you'd like it to be. So on this one, I'm going to make it 1 to 5. That does mean that there's 5 points available, and wherever the user places themselves on that scale is how many points they've achieved out of 5. And then finally, you've got an open text question, which is great for gathering extra information, but it isn't a scored question, but it can give you really useful insights as well. Okay, so I talked briefly while I was going through the AI setup process about number of questions, but just to recap, we recommend fewer for colder leads, so approximately 12. That does need to be balanced with giving people a credible score, and it can depend on who your target audience are. It's really just being mindful of the flow and making sure that people stay engaged throughout the questions. If it's warmer leads, the guidelines approximately 25, and if it's existing customers, then there is no limit. It's just in terms of the data that you need to gather. I want to very briefly explain how the scoring works. So it will add up the total number of points, so overall and per category. So for example, in exercise, if I had 20 points available across all those questions, it will work out what the person taking my quiz has scored out of that 20. So if I've scored 10, it converts it to a percentage. So it says, okay, you've scored 50% in exercise. And that will determine which score tier they fall into. So now if you go to the builder and settings, you're going to see a section called score tiers. And 50% means that I've scored in the medium range for exercise. These are your default settings, and they may work perfectly for you because it's the traffic light system. It's 100% broken down into threes, thirds. But you can change it. You can change the labels, you can change the colors, the percentage ranges, and you can add and remove tiers as desired. Now, where these tiers start to come in useful is on the results. So this is the next stage that we're going to now. So we've talked about the landing page, we've talked about the questions, and we're going to move on to delivering that results. And it's called the result page. If you have started from scratch, you will need to click on the blue button, create result page. In the other two methods, so the template and the AI, we can just click to edit what we have already. And what the AI has done for us here is it's put in a donut chart showing our categories, some overall score content, and it's also inputted content for the 2 categories we selected during the process. I'm going to talk about what I would then recommend that you do to this page to further develop it. So in terms of delivering that overall score, you have the opportunity to make this dynamic. So you see the toggle to the right here, I can switch this on, and then it opens up my score tier. So I can tailor it based on whether someone scored low, medium, and high overall. This is really nice because you're acknowledging their score, and you're giving them sort of relevant advice. It may also be that you want to present that score in a different way. So if we go to add a section and we look at all the sections under results, you can see that we've got percentages, donut charts, spider diagrams, speedometers, thermometers, traffic lights. So you could add a different section type and add your content to it. When it comes to the categories, the AI has already enabled dynamic content, so it's slightly different based on what score tier they fall into. My recommendation is to acknowledge their score, describe the category, and then start to think about some hints and tips. And where the score tiers can be really effective is that if you know that if someone scored low in exercise habits, they're not doing the majority of the things that you asked in those questions. So your advice will be very tailored in the fact that it can be, make sure you exercise 3 times a week, or get your heart rate up at least 3 times a week. Where somebody that's fallen into the high end, they're going to be doing those things, so you can start to give them some next level advice. This is also the page where you're going to start to feature your call to actions as well. And we really want this bit to now start showcasing who you are, how you can help, what that next step is. And it could be that you're offering someone a discovery call. It could be you want them to join a community, register for a webinar. So if you have a look at add a section, we've got loads of section types that can really make that stand out, ones with images. If you we've actually got call to action sections here, but really any section with a button. So it could be that you even use one of the banners as your final call to action here, to help it sort of stand out. And if you click on that section to the right, you will notice a button link box, and that's where you'd paste the URL in, where you want them to join the community, or it could be your Calendly link that you copy into there, so people can click on it and then take that next step as well. You could start to add more information on this page. So it could be that you have testimonials. It could be that if you giving someone a bonus, that you give them access to the bonus on this page as well. So you can really create it to suit you. So that is your sort of tutorial for the results page. If you are on our starter and our business package, the results page is the output. If you go to settings and you select result email, the ScoreApp platform will fire off an email with a link back to that page. They get to keep it, they get to refer to it. The AI's drafted some content here, which I'd advise you to sort of check and customize. If you are on our Pro package, you might also want to develop the PDF feature, in which case your results page might become a snapshot of or a summary of their results, and that you're indicating that their full PDF has been emailed to them. And this little icon with the plus sign is where you can pick up the report button if you want to switch it from the results page to the report button. If you don't want this to come from the ScoreApp platform at all, you can toggle it off there. You can push all the information into a CRM, all the results, and you can send all of your sequences from inside there, should that be your preference. So that's the main elements of building the scorecard. I will just, before we talk about promotion, I will show you that PDF feature. So for any pro users or anyone that's interested in it, I just want to show you a typical structure for that PDF. So I'm going to start without a template. I'm going to give it a name. And then when I select add page, I'm just going to show you the pages that are available. So generally, it would consist of a front cover, and all of these options have different designs, but all can be fully branded and customized. Then you might pick up an introduction page, followed by showcasing their overall score. And each page, you can have that dynamic feature, so you can have different content based on how they scored. You would then showcase their category scores. And then once you've done that, you start to delve a bit further into each category. And you might have a couple of pages for each category, one which describes the category, and the next page will be tips to improve your score. We've got lots of different pages for the call to action, and then we've got sort of outro testimonial pages as well. So it works very similar to the landing page and the results page. You can move pages around and style each of those pages as well. Okay, so I want to now just focus on some ideas for promoting your scorecard. So I'm going to go back to the slides. These are some very top level ideas. Oh, my colleague that I forgot to introduce at the beginning. I'm so sorry, Sarah. My colleague, Sarah, will kindly share with you in the chat the link to a document called 29 Different Ways to Promote Your Scorecard, which is a really comprehensive list that I would recommend that you review. And here are some top line suggestions as well. And I'll show you where to find some of these elements on the platform. So number one in the list is embedding it on your website. So any traffic that arrives at your website, having your scorecard there, it could be a banner on your homepage, it could be a button on your nav bar, it could be labeled Discover Your Score. It can be another way of engaging and capturing the details of those that are landing on your website. So your embedding options, if we go back to the platform and this time we select share, you've got your 4 options to embed it on your website. So you can select your preference, you can tailor it, and then you can access the code that you need. While I'm on this page, I'm just going to show you, if you click on the icon here, this will also show you your QR code that you can use to generate traffic to your scorecard as well. Okay, then you could use it as your email signature. So I've got an example of that. We've got Mike Reed, the co-founder of Dent. He's got a PS, have you taken the key person of influence scorecard? And this really applies to anything that leaves your office. You could have the scorecard link on there as well. Email marketing. So if you have an existing database, it can be a great way of re-engaging a database. It can be a great way of gathering further data from your existing contacts as well. You can also direct message it to people. So I just spoke to a customer earlier today who said he had a somebody reached out to him who'd listened to his podcast, and he then directed someone to the scorecard to say, once you've completed that, then we can form a discussion, and that person has converted into a sale today, which is great. The third on the list is social media. So you can use the link for the scorecard in all your social media profiles. You can post about it regularly, but you could also use it as the call to action for any other posts that you do. So a PS, don't forget to take the scorecard. When you share your scorecard on social media, if we go back to the platform, and again, under share, one of this AI marketing assistant tools is the suggested social posts. So these change. So you've got your Twitter, your Facebook, and your LinkedIn, gives you ideas for the content to help you post that, and you can copy and paste that. Also, going back to the scorecard builder, under settings and share appearance, if you give your scorecard a title, a description, and an image, that controls the way it looks once it's shared on social media platforms. So if you went into LinkedIn, typed in your URL, it's going to display in line with what is entered here. So that's I would recommend going in and doing that as well. Podcasts, videos, blogs, books. So we've got customers that have podcasts, and I've seen it previously where they've asked their audience to pause the episode, go and complete the scorecard, and then come back once they've got their score, or they link the scorecard in the show notes after the episode. Equally, it can be used on the call to action on any videos that you're doing, any blogs, and if you're, an author or you have a book, you can use a scorecard to register for the book, promote the book. We have customers who provide the link for the scorecard in the book. So once they've read their book, the next stage is to take the scorecard, and so that you capture those leads. We use scorecards obviously for everything in our business, and that's, for registering people for events, for building funnels. So they might answer 2 or 3 questions and then get access to the resource at the end, but it allows us then to qualify and personalize the journey for those particular leads. You might use them for workshops, during an event, after an event. We've got lots of different, those waitlist templates we've got available. We've got a join the discussion template, register your interest template. So I would recommend having a look at those as well. The final element on the list is joint venture partnerships. So if you've got a relationship where you can leverage each other's assets, that can also be a great way of promoting your scorecard. And then finally, we've got the paid for option of running ads to your scorecard, and that could be on the relevant channel for your target audience, but that can also help to sort of drive traffic towards it. So that's all the information about sharing your scorecard. If we go back to the platform, we've got this insights here on the blue toolbar. So when you've launched, this will show you how many visitors have arrived at your landing page and how many have gone on to start. So that will give you a conversion rate. And it's really useful to track that conversion rate, and because you can make optimizations along the way. So we'd like to see it tracking above 20%. We do have scorecards that are operating up at 60. So we're looking for that sort of 20, that sort of benchmark when you're creating your scorecard. Once you've got that lead through the platform, they're going to drop into your leads area here. Typically, our customers will integrate with their CRM system. So you can see all of our integrations that are available. If yours isn't listed here, there's a high chance that it's going to be available via Zapier. And when you select your integration, it will ask you to enter your API to connect both the platforms, and then it will open up some options for you. So you can choose which list you want to map it to. You can map across the lead details, and you can also map across any of the other fields, such as the question and answers, the category scores, the tiers, etc. as well. and that will allow you to plan some follow-up sequences. So in terms of follow-up, you might ask for a phone number on the lead form. You may have then the opportunity, or you might have a team of appointment setters that can then contact that lead, as well as putting them into a funnel. It makes that conversation warmer, because you can start it with, have you got a few moments to talk about your results from your recent scorecard? There's a technique we recommend called the seesaw technique. So that is then identifying something they've scored really well in, and then at the bottom of the seesaw, identifying something that presents their biggest opportunity. We have got some tools for you on the platform to support you with that. So I'm just going to show you on a scorecard with some test data in it. So once I click on the lead here, this obviously shows me their scores, but I can click the AI button on the top right, and it will prepare some sales email copy and a sales call script that is specific to how this particular lead answered the question. So you can utilize those tools as well. So that can form part of your follow-up sequence. Other tools, very quickly, before I open up to questions, sits under insights, which might be useful. Now, this is a pro feature, but this is answers, and this shows aggregate data across everyone that's completed your scorecard. So this might make useful content. It might aid your decision making, for example, and you'll notice the AI button here. So if you click on there, you can create a press article, a blog post, tweet, a LinkedIn post based on how everybody has answered that scorecard as well. The two features that I didn't show you were the audiences and experiments. So audiences allows you to create very specific results page experiences. So you could just pick out certain conditions, like they answered this question in a certain way, and they've got this amount of revenue. And then you create a section on the results page that's just specific to that audience. So it's highly targeted. So whenever you click on that eye icon, you can make it audience based and then select the audience that it's appropriate for. And experiments allows you to split test different landing pages. So it really helps you to ensure that you've selected the highest converting landing page. Okay, I think that's all of the information that I wanted to share with you today. Before I open questions, just in case anyone has to go, I do just want to mention that, please feel free to reach out to us at support if we can help you any further. We've got live chat, or you can send us a message at support@scoreapp.com. We've got a Facebook community, which can be a great place to gather ideas, ask for feedback. And we do also have a referral scheme, which if you are ever interested in, we'd obviously love you to be part of. You can find that under your account and referrals. Everyone has a unique code. And we've got all the information about our commission structure on there. So please do check that out if that's of interest. But yeah, thank you. We wish you lots of success with your scorecards. And has anybody got any questions? Feel free to just jump in and take your mic off. Just give
Hi, Leigh Mark here.
Hi.
Hi. First of all, I have to commend you and your support team. You're very responsive and helpful, I must admit.
Oh, thank you.
So that's great. I'm almost there. I'm probably going to embed this in one of my own web pages, but
Okay.
if I want to use the pages within ScoreApp,
Yep.
how does that actually work? So would I need to put links on my own website to this page to direct people here?
Yeah, so you could, I mean, are you thinking of having a banner on a button on the homepage? How would you like, what are your
I'm
thoughts?
not entirely on my own home pages.
Yes.
Yes, it might be a pop-up with a button, or it might be a button somewhere. Not entirely sure yet. It could be in various spots within our structure.
Okay, well, let me just show you, for example, so one of the founders of ScoreApp is Daniel Priestley, and he's also one of the founders of Dent Global. So this is their homepage here. And if you scroll down to the bottom, this has got a banner saying discover your influence score. So the link for his scorecard is sat behind this button. So when you click on it, he's got a custom domain, but he's then sort of, this is now his ScoreApp landing page, and that is how it's connected. So that's one option. The other option is when you go to the share, these are your options. So, and it will show you what it looks like. So you mentioned pop-up. You can select the pop-up option, and then you can decide where you want that starting screen to be. And generally, this is just taking a little bit of time, but it will show you how it looks. So that would be my advice, to have a look at those options.
So is this, I got the impression that this provided its own landing page if necessary.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So I could use this landing page and simply, in effect, hide it by my own landing pages.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, you could embed it within your own website. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope
no, I'll play with
it. Brilliant. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question about integration, and I am very new at many things,
Okay.
but I'm looking at continuing my trial membership with Go High Level, and I noticed that was one of the ones you integrate with.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit how that would work?
Yeah, so in Go High Level, like you'll have an API which you'll find within Go High Level. So once you select it, Go High Level here, you literally need to click to authenticate. You visit Go High Level, that connects the platforms. Then they all work slightly differently, but you might create a list within Go High Level, and then within ScoreApp, it will give you a drop down so you can select that list. And then it will allow you to select, if you're asking for first name, last name, email, it will allow you to push those across into that list. And it will also then give you it will say map result fields, and you can decide where you map your results fields. Then you might have some sequences in Go High Level, based on different triggers. So once you get to that stage, the very first stage is obviously connecting via the API, mapping across the data, testing it, make sure those leads are arriving in Go High Level. And then if you've got any questions from there about creating the sequences, Go High Level would be your best resource in terms of information. But any help you need, our dev team are fantastic, and we can help you along the way, and record looms for you and so forth.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Hi Helen, have you got a question?
Yes. So my question is, I'm using the Wheel of Life template and using my categories. And my question is, when I would like it to, based on the results, send customized email to the leads. Do you think that's possible?
So ScoreApp, if you're using the results email from ScoreApp, it won't be customized based on how they scored. If that is possible within your CRM, then just switch off the results email from coming from ScoreApp, and then push it across into your CRM and set them all up from within there.
So is it essentially like a tag that says, so ScoreApp will send a tag that has the lowest health, for example, to ConvertKit, and then from ConvertKit I can write those emails? Correct. Yeah. But then what if someone, because it's like a score of multiple areas in your life, and what if the person has low health, relationship, and work, and would that be different emails? So that's why I was a bit
I think in terms
I don't want to
of
send different emails of like different categories, because there'll be a lot of emails.
Yeah, I think most people would tend to maybe just select their lowest score. Like, you know, I mentioned that seesaw technique. Like, this is what presents your biggest opportunity. Or it may be that, you know, you go for their overall score. So just, you know, overall they've scored low and they need that extra support. It could be that some people just decide, you know, people that have scored highly and everything, they might not be their ideal target audience. They're just going to go with the medium and low. And they might just focus on building that journey for them. So they've taken the scorecard, then they get, you know, access to the book, and then they get invited to a webinar. So it's kind of really looking at what's going to present the most value to your target audience.
Got it. And then in terms of the results page, I know that you can do dynamic results. So in the Wheel of Life template, I see that there's a main, the graph, like the picture, and then there's different categories of each of the percentages. And then I want to have a third one it's sort of like a tips on where you scored the lowest. So that third one could be the dynamic part.
Yeah, I think on that Wheel of Life template, dynamic content isn't enabled for the categories. So if you click on the categories and then you enable dynamic content, then you'll create, you know, 3 different versions for each category, basically. It'll all sit within the platform, but it'll show them that the one that they've fallen into. And I think that will give you everything that you need.
Okay, and I'll try it. And then if I have questions, the best way is to reach out to your team.
Exactly. Yep. Don't hesitate to sort of reach out and we'll help you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further questions at all?
Yeah, I'd have a question.
Okay, how can I help?
I think I spoke at the same time as Mustafa there. Okay. I'm at the concept stage where I'm really just trying to test whether people will take the test. And I've seen various pieces of advice about, you know, reach out to 5 or 6 intelligent people and ask them. You know, I've got my existing clients, but the problem is they love me very much. And I feel anything I send them, they just go, yeah, that's great. That's brilliant. And then on the other hand, I've got a big list of 7,000 people, many of whom never respond to me. And then I'm just wondering if you have any insight into the type of people it's good to reach out to initially just to test a concept.
I think ourselves is going to be a great starting point because we'll be very honest with you. So if you send it to support@scoreapp.com, so I don't know if you've got anyone within your network that's not a customer that potentially would be more honest.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy to take a look. I'll be brutal.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Brilliant. There you go.
There we go. Thank you very much, Mark. Yes, I've got Mark. I mean, I've got 7,000 people on an email list, but they're a ragbag collection that I've gathered by fair means and foul over the past few years, and I don't really know if they're my target market. Whereas my clients obviously are my target market, but they're super nice. So
it sounds like you want to get some feedback and then maybe launch the scorecard anyway to that group, you know, to sort of try and re-engage some of them, rather than potentially asking them for feedback. That could be one of the groups that you promote it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that I want to test the concept before I send it to that list.
Okay, yeah. So I think obviously send it to ourselves in the first instance. Mark's very kindly volunteered as well.
Yeah.
Share it in the Facebook community, could be the other way. And then we can go from there.
Okay, brilliant. And that was support@scoreapp.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Lovely. Thanks, Howard. Was there one further question?
Yeah, I had one quick question. It won't be too long. I mentioned I had a renovation company, and gave me some advice that I could do different type of scorecards. One was the onboarding process, which is kind of our qualifying questions and etc. I've got a good idea of that. But then you mentioned lead generation. Would you be able to like kind of differentiate the difference? Or give me an example?
Yeah, so the onboarding is when you've already got that, you know, it's a lead that's potentially warm, that are ready to take that next step. So it's like, okay, just complete that and then we'll have a conversation. So it saves you time in that initial conversation. Whereas a cold lead, you know, you can imagine if you're just running ads, it might be like zoomed out a little bit. Like I actually used ChatGPT the other day to generate some ideas for a renovation company, and I can't remember, but it was along the lines of you know, they were looking more the lines of, you know, is your development sustainable, you know, so it was trying to give something like that. And it's just kind of then try using the cold lead scorecard to identify people that might be ready, that might have the budget. You know, you've got to obviously provide some value to them in doing so.
So what I'm thinking is like almost like just out of the box, like how energy efficient, basically, you know, what grade is it, you know, the 8 thing, and then they could kind of, you know, fill out the questions, and then it could give them a grade of what they are and what they could do to improve.
Exactly. Perfect.
Okay, so we don't really do cold leads, to be honest with you. No, but the onboarding is really, really important to clarify. The lead generation, I don't think will work for us. So would the onboarding, sorry, last question. So the onboarding one, the qualifying questions, for example, would that, can I put that on the landing page of my website?
Yeah, of course. Because it's almost like it would be like, you know, if you had somebody walk into your office, it's like that information that you want to gather from them, isn't it? To give them a quote or point them in the direction. So it'd be like it's kind of those questions that would form. And obviously then anyone that's arriving at your website, you know, obviously it's less commitment than walking into your office. And, you know, even though it's an onboarding one and you're asking the questions that you need, obviously the advantage of ScoreApp is that you will be able to give them some feedback at the end, potentially, if, you know, depending on how you're scoring it and what you want to show back to them. But it can help engage them a bit more because they get that little bit more feedback, and then you can kind of give them a next step as well.
Brilliant. Would there be anyone I could brainstorm with this about at a later date once I kind of draft my concept?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Just send us an email, just say that you want to have a further discussion with us, and we'll provide you with a link.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, any other questions?
Hi, I would like to make a question.
Yeah, how can I help?
I just started kind of the other way around. I listened to the podcast and then I bought the ScoreApp subscription.
Okay.
And then I did, without seeing the training, I kind of did a questionnaire, a quiz.
Brilliant.
And it was, for me, and I want to create a styling company for personal styling.
Okay.
Basically, for the moms that goes to my school, to my children's school.
Okay.
So they have a big group of people from the whole school. And because every time I go to events, they go, well, where did you buy this? How you start this? So I said, there's a market, and it's a private school, so they have money.
Yeah. Important.
So I sent them the questionnaire, and straight away I didn't, as I say, I just used the AI questionnaire without putting too much effort. And I have a lot of leads.
Brilliant.
From the questionnaire. So, and most of them, they don't know what to wear. They don't feel confident. It's more like women over 40.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, what's the next step? Just to create those emails, those AI emails, and send it to them and see.
Yeah. So
you have to put a price or.
Yeah. So what I suppose it's just you refined your product and your service, so you know what it is so you're going to personal style. Have you got different packages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like prepare the offer, basically.
Yeah. So sometimes I think we've actually got, and I'll show you inside the platform, if you go to home, and you scroll down to courses, one of the founders of ScoreApp, Daniel Priestley, he has got this Get Sales course here.
Okay.
And it's super helpful. His content would be perfect for you in helping you. But he talks about like building that relationship. So yours might be a bit different because your target audience seem quite warm, like they're from an area that you might be able to jump straight to that product or service. Could also, you know, if you've got other content, you could then share that with them as a next step, and you start to build up that relationship before you go for the sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I think listen to that Get Sales, and I think that's going to be super helpful for you.
And do you think it's worth creating a new scorecard as the one I did, as I said, without any training? I started, now I'm doing the training, I'm like, oh my God, I could have had this and that. So purely from the AI, you know, the template thing.
Yeah, I think if you want to share it to a wider audience, I mean, if it's worked and the conversion's really well, then, you know, it's working. But if you're going to, you know, because you had that captive audience, if you're going to open up the audience, then it could be that your landing page needs to be a bit stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. So if, you know, if you have that opportunity, it's only going to strengthen it in terms of, you know, styling it, you know, you putting in some more useful content.
And is it possible to develop the same scorecard into some, or you have to produce a completely new one?
No, because when you when you come to your landing page here, you'll have the AI version. You can actually create a new landing page, so this is attached to the same questions, same results, page output. So now we're going to have 2 in our list, and then if you want to actually then switch it over, you can literally just publish this one, so make it default, publish it, and make that previous one draft, and then we've switched landing pages.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, any other questions? All good. Thank you so much, guys. It was really nice to meet you, and yeah, just stay in touch if we can help you further. Have a good rest of the day.